Welcome to the Virgo New Moon. The Virgo New Moon will be happening on the 27th of August, and this is a collective message for everyone. Now, the Sun and Moon is in Virgo. Virgo is the energy of our health, mentally, emotionally, and physically in our daily routine. It's about practical matters. So it's important during this new moon to ask yourself, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you doing mentally, emotionally, and physically? Is your mind cluttered? This is a great time to declutter the mind, to let go of beliefs, thoughts, and things that are weighing your mind down. Mentally heavy. Emotionally, what emotions need to be cleared out? Right? What emotions have you been holding within you that is now impacting you physically? And this is how we take care of ourselves. Physically, have you been drinking water? Have you been getting sleep? Have you been resting and working? Have you been practical in the to-do list and what you need to accomplish? Because that can also lead to anxiety. The Virgo new moon is all about taking care of yourself. Virgo New Moon is also about service to others, where we can help a friend, a family member, be there for others. It's the acts of service to those around us. But it's important to ask ourselves, with those acts of service that we accomplish and that we do for everyone else, have we been taking care of ourselves? It's the balance between taking care of yourself and others. Oftentimes the energy can be where we are taking care of everyone. We might have that colleague or co-worker or friend or family member that phones us every day or every second day and is complaining about something. And that can take a lot from our energy. This Virgo new moon will ask you directly, what is being taken from your energy, your time, and draining you? What do you need to let go of in order for a fresh start and a new beginning? And it all starts with your organization of time so that you are able to take care of the things that you need to take care of within a day. You have more energy when you are taking care of you. And that's what the Virgo moon is about. It's important to be aware of our physical health during this new moon, because we can feel during this new moon, especially within our bodies and within our emotions, where we have been giving too much of our energy outside of ourselves to situations. Maybe we're clearing our trauma, maybe we're trying to help this person. We are taking care of far too much, and that leaves us scattered, and our energy scattered, and we are not taking care of us. It's a very human experience during a Virgo new moon, where it brings it down to the most simple and practical aspects of taking care of you, making sure that you are healthy mentally as well. Anxiety can be experienced during a Virgo new moon due to us overthinking, overanalyzing. Remember, Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is a sign of, facts, information, analysis. Right? So how much overanalyzing have you been doing? It's an important time to be gentle with yourself and not overcritical, because that is an aspect that comes through with Virgo, given that it's ruled by Mercury, the criticism, the overanalyzing, the overthinking things. We need to break things down into simple, pragmatic steps and get things done in that way. And we have to take into account, how much of energy do we give to others, the service to others, and how much of energy do we give to ourselves? And we need to balance that point between ourselves and others. So that's the energy of Virgo. Be aware of your health and how you are taking care of yourself. If anything comes up when it's a health matter, anxiety as well, mentally feeling overly anxious, overthinking, emotionally feeling overly heavy, like your heart is heavy, your mind is heavy, you're just feeling drained and exhausted, physically unwell. That's where sickness can come in with the energy of Virgo, because think of the new moon as a way of shining light on you and your health, and it gives you the points to show you, look, you haven't been taking care of yourself, you haven't been nurturing your body, you haven't been nurturing your mind, you haven't been nurturing your emotions. Take a moment, take a step, and take care of you, so that you can actually move forward with everything that you wish to accomplish. Because that is the energy of Virgo. It does love to accomplish things. It does love to see results. But those results come from how well you are managing and taking care of you. Now, with this new moon, we have a square to Mars, and Mars is in Gemini. So we can feel frustrated because Mars is the planet of, you know, aggression, action, passion, right? It's all of those fiery aspects. Mars is known as the god of war, whereas Mercury would be the messenger planet, and Mars is in Gemini. This is where we might feel that our energy is scattered and there's a lot of things to take care of, and we are not completing things. There's a lot of tasks and we're thinking which to complete, and we feel very scattered, and the square creates that tension because Virgo wants to know the how and wants to see things get done and wants to see it. It's an earth sign when we are talking about Virgo, and that's why it wants to see it physically. Okay, this is your list of all the things you need to do. What have you accomplished? How are you going to accomplish it? What are the steps, and where are we going to be? It wants to see it in reality. So that's where the frustration can come about, because we might feel like we have too many things pulling at us, too many responsibilities, too many people talking to us. It is in Gemini Mars, where there's a lot of talking and thinking. Be aware of your thoughts during this new moon, because you don't want to be mentally overly stimulated. Great new moon to clear out your mind. And what I mean by that is, like, think of it as processing data. Right? When we're talking about Mercury, what is important, what isn't, what's junk, what is junk, and what needs to go to the junk mail pile. You need to really sit and like think about that and be like, okay, what's important, what can I take care of, and what can I not? Simple steps will get you through. Overly trying to stretch yourself to do a lot of things for everyone else might not. Gemini is a sign of adaptability, and so is Virgo. So we can adapt to change during this new moon, but it will be met with some frustrations, especially because with the Mars energy, we might feel frustrated. Mars, when it's square, brings conflict. So we feel conflicted by the things we want to accomplish. We feel conflicted by the conversations we are having with others as well. Be aware of too much information as well. Mars being in Gemini, Mars moved into Gemini on the 20th of August and will stay there until March of 2023. That is because we're going through a Mars retrograde. And that's why Mars will be there for 7 months. Later in October, it'll start. But that's the energy of it. And that's why what we do during this new moon is so important. Frustrations, you might feel impulsive. You might have an idea and want to act upon it now. Take a moment and take a step back, because remember, Mercury is currently, right? Both these planets, Virgo and Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Mercury's in Libra, and Mercury is already in its pre-shadow period of the retrograde. Mercury will go retrograde in September, around the 9th, 10th of September until the 2nd of October, 2022. So it's important to be aware that we're in the pre-shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So things from the past can come up. People from the past might come up. We might be thinking a lot about the past, and we want to have a lot of conversations. The good thing about Mercury being in Libra is that we can listen to two sides of the story and remain objective, because Mercury is an air sign and it wants to see a fair and just solution to whatever we are going through. But remember that Mercury is already in its pre-shadow period of retrograde. So we are going to have to take a moment and take a step back during this new moon. Do not be impulsive, especially with the Mars energy, that we might want to push forward with something. We might want to push forward with an idea. We want that fast action. So take a moment and take a step back. And we might be frustrated, especially when we met with a lot of conversation and we feel like, too, it's going nowhere slowly. Another thing to be aware of is that Venus is in Leo and it's in opposition to Saturn in Aquarius. Venus is the planet of love, luxury, and beauty. So it's basically, Venus in Leo is we can get attached a lot to what we want. We want the best. That's the Leo of energy. It's, I want the best. I want it to impress me. And that's good. But during this new moon, because it's opposition, it has an opposition to Saturn Aquarius, we can be met with no's. Venus rules love, so in relationships, no's. We might feel isolated, alone, rejection, I can also, like, if you're trying to do anything financially, like you want to request money from someone to invest in something, you might get a no because of that opposition there, especially because of Saturn. It restricts, it gives no's, it creates delays, it says the time isn't right. And we can even go through a stop moment even in our relationships, where we feel like relationships are going nowhere. I would say the best thing to do is to have some patience and surrender. We are already in a pre-shadow period, Mercury retrograde. During this new moon, we have that opposition to Saturn. The best thing to do is to take baby steps, break it down, small, simple, practical ways in which to take care of yourself and others. And do as much as you can and not overextend or exert yourself. Right? So remember that. And like anything, during Mercury retrogrades, even the pre-shadow period, it's not the ideal or best time to start anything new. So you don't be like, oh, I think I should go buy this right now or I should go and spend on this. No, not at that moment. And I'm talking about new stuff. If there's anything you've been already wanting to do for a long time, you can complete it during a Mercury retrograde. So say you've been wanting to buy a bag or something and you've been saving for a long time, then you can do it. Remember, Saturn appreciates that hard work and diligence. Another thing to be aware of, we might find with that Saturn opposition with Venus, is that we might find like others that are trying to have authority over us, trying to control us. Be aware with the Mars energy that's also coming through, conflicts, aggression, impulsive behavior. And why do we need to be aware of those things? Well, one, if we are going through those experiences during this new moon, that can create a lot of trauma within us. Now, to be aware that this energy is impacting individuals in this way, where they might feel very determined about what they want, especially with the Venus energy in Leo, but they feel like they're not getting anywhere. That can create a lot of impulsive, aggressive behavior. And when you're aware of something, you can step aside and detach a bit more and let someone go through their feelings without like getting into a conflict with them and trying to be of service and try and overly extend and help at that time. The best thing you can do is to give a little space with the Venus and Leo in Aquarius. Well, Venus and Leo, Saturn Aquarius opposition is to give space to breathe will be very important. With the Mars energy, too much conversation, be aware of that. And also Mercury, the ruler of both, in Libra, a lot of conversation seems to want to be had, but it's going to be conversations that we're going to come back to during the Mercury retrograde. So how you respond and how you react during this new moon is vital. Be aware of the conflict. People who want to have positions of authority and power over you with their Venus opposition, you will feel it like they're trying to control you emotionally. They're trying to control you and how you feel and what you're trying to do. So what do you do when someone's trying to control you? You step aside. You don't, get into the war of I want to tug of war with you and pull for power. If I let go of it, I retain my power. So that's the important thing to remember during this beautiful new moon, is to take care of your health. Don't get into the conflicts. Mars is really already in a square with this new moon and sun, and it wants to. A square is a place of tension and conflict where you want to, spice it up and fight a little. And it's not the time to do that. Right? Especially with that pre-shadow period, Mercury retrograde. You don't want to go through this where the Mercury retrograde loves to bring up past situations, past experiences, and we want to use this new moon to its best energy, and that would be to use it in a way where we can find healing. Virgo is a sign of healing, and the healing starts with you, where you take practical steps. Sleep more, drink some water, read something inspiring, fill your mind with empowerment, fill your emotions with empowerment, where you are detaching from conflict with yourself, even where you were kind of like, pointing, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. No, you're going to do what you can in this very moment from this point forward that will be the best for you and that will offer you immense healing. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. Our website's linked down below if you'd like a reading, as well as a link for appreciation of these videos.